everybody, and welcome back to the Joe Show. And so excited. I have a very, very special person on my couch today, and I'm so excited that she's here. I got my friend Sam. This is Sam. We met last semester, in college. And I never knew she existed. I was looking for black people on my campus, and then she just popped up, and I was like, "What the?" And we were trying to plan out hanging out for like a while, just back and forth on Instagram, and then we met, and then now she's here, and now we're here. So introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, what you do, what you about, and how you ended up on my couch.
Hey guys, so my name is Samaya, and a little bit about me. I am a third year now student. I am a nursing student, and I ended up here because we finally met up at this little food place on campus, and that's really how it all started.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had met up in Wanda's, and that's how we all started connecting with some of my other black friends that came in, and that's how we ended up with this big ass group.
Yeah, it was a lot of us.
People. It was a big group. And we ended up just getting closer and closer because I feel like we had a lot in common. More than we thought. And it took some time to get there to figure it out.
But the more I started coming around, the more we started talking. Then we started talking outside the group, and it was like, okay, this the one right here. Like, I like her.
It felt like I had a big sister, and it felt like that's what I was.
Mind you, I'm only 1 year older than her. They be making me feel old. Everybody was 1 year younger than me, and they just made me feel so old. I felt like a mom. Like, I felt like a mom with y'all. Y'all made me feel like I was just this old lady. But it all worked out because now she cool as hell, and now we locked in. We locked in. And P.S. side note, if anybody need anybody beat up, this who you call. Yeah, one of our first interactions, I think, was when we she had fought this one girl that we go to school with, and I personally didn't have no beef with her, but I was like beefed up by association because she had beef with my friends. So I guess she don't fuck with me either. But she ended up beating her up at a party one time, and I was like, "Girl, send me the video." And then me being messy, I'm always looking for the fight video. I always want the video, so I got the video, and we just talking, kikiing, and then that's how it went. So this is my little Sam Mayweather. So where are you from?
I'm originally from San Diego, but around high school time, me and my family moved up to the Temecula area. If anyone knows where that's at, we moved around there. It's usually where all the veterans move. Mm-hmm. Once you old and retired.
I didn't know there was a lot of vets there.
There's a lot.
Really?
Of vets up there. Yes.
I thought it was just winos.
Surrounded by all veterans. They all around there. Once they get old and their kids is off to college, it seems like they all just move up there.
Move to Temecula. That's probably what it is. It's like a wine country. It's peaceful. Mm-hmm. It's relaxing. It's got a hell of vineyards out there. I want to go wine tasting one day.
I was just about to say.
I was gonna say I want to go wine tasting.
The biggest thing up there that everybody goes to is the
wineries.
Winery. Yep. Mm-hmm. Everyone goes up there.
I mean, I can see why. Shoot, it's beautiful. I never been, but I've seen pictures and I drove past it and I was like, wow. Yeah. Very, 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 very nice. So San Diego, I've never been to, well, no, I've been to SeaWorld, but I don't think that counts.
No. Okay. A little bit about San Diego. I definitely did grow up in the bougie part of San Diego. I grew up in the hood area. I've lived in El Cajon, Skyline. I've lived all around over there. But honestly, I feel like it's better, I guess, than living in the bougie because it felt more real.
Yeah, it feels authentic. I didn't even know San Diego had a hood. I mean, I feel like everybody got a hood, but a hood in San Diego?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a little ghetto at one point. I know it was ghetto because I wasn't allowed in the front yard.
Oh,
so that's how I knew.
Yeah,
no kids was allowed in the front yard. You didn't want to accidentally get shot. I don't know, but I wasn't allowed in the front yard. So
dang, that's crazy. Because I grew up in a little suburb. I was in a little LA suburb, and I used to be outside all day long. My mom would just let me go outside. I'm on my bike, just cruising around. No supervision, no nothing. By myself, just vibing.
Then I was able to be like that. Because when I lived in El Cajon, I lived right next door to my cousins.
Oklahoma?
No, El Cajon.
Oh, El Cajon. I was like, you lived in Oklahoma? Is it black people in Oklahoma? No, it is. I knew somebody that was from Oklahoma, and he was black. That was crazy. No, I don't think so either. He was kind of off too, so I assume that's what all the black people from Oklahoma is like.
I lived right next door to my cousins, so that's when we was outside touching the green box, running back and forth.
Oh yeah, bro. Oh my, we don't even have those anymore. The big old green ones, you used to sit on them. They used to be coming off dusty as hell. Dusty. It used to be damn. That just brought up a cold memory. I forgot all about that.
That's how we knew we were safe when we was playing tag. The green box was home.
Yeah, yup, home base. That's what it was. Exactly you just brought up so many little nostalgic memories. I know that, like, I haven't been able, I feel like kids now is robbed. They're robbed of those memories. They're robbed of those experiences because we used to be outside. Like, outside meant, like, we was outside. We was playing all type of games, making up all type of games. Especially when we had, like, little devices to get, like, when we got our little scooters and bikes. And when the ripstick came out, it was a wrap. Do you remember that? Do you know what that is? It's like a little twisty skateboard.
Okay, no, I know.
Yeah, them hoes hit the streets like a plague. And I promise you, I had a red one, and I used to be twisting my little hips all over the neighborhood. Them bitches was fun. Them was fun. But yeah, San Diego. I want to live out there for a little bit. I heard that it's really, really nice.
It's very pretty. That's where I want to move after I graduate.
Really?
I do want to go back home. Like, there's nothing wrong with Menifee. It's just growing up there. It's a different type of feeling. I already know. Every time I get on the freeway, I automatically feel better when I'm on the way down there. I was just down there
really?
2 days ago. And
how far is it from where you're at?
From Menifee, it's about an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, that's not that far.
Yeah, it's not far. But from up here,
yeah, it's like
about 2 hours.
2.5 with traffic and stuff.
Honestly, it's pretty, and I want to live by the water.
So you gonna have some money.
Yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to make sure that's how I can live.
Shoot, shameless plug. My girl just got into nursing school.
Blood pressure taking. That's all I got.
Just not while you high. No more. But yeah, so I'm really excited to have her here. We got a jam-packed show for everybody today. I hope y'all enjoy it. As always, you can like, subscribe, and comment on this video and let me know what you think. And we just gonna get right into our topics for today. So I picked this topic for her because this is like probably one of the only people who are like closest to my age that like I feel like actually have an active relationship with God or like are actively like seeking, you know, their spirituality and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of that stuff is kind of, it's blurred a little bit now. You know, a lot of people don't really post that type of stuff, or if they do, it's like in the bio or something. But like, I feel like you're probably one of the only people that I know that kind of really, like have that relationship with God and is open about it. And it's actually really refreshing for me to have somebody that's my age to like talk about that stuff with, because you can't do it a lot of times with a lot of people.
Not everyone's open to being honest with themselves and with other people about their journey and how hard it actually is.
No, for real, especially now. Like, I feel like trying to like mend that relationship with God now, like in 2023, is like totally different because everybody, I'm not going to say they're ashamed, but I feel like a lot of people like are trying to portray an image. I feel like society is all about like personal brand and image. And a lot of times people don't really include God in that brand and that image. And I am no stranger to saying that like everything I got is because of God. Like everything that I ever wanted or ever prayed for, like it came from him. So today, the first topic we're going to get into is about how to incorporate God into your life in your early 20s, like now in today's society. How do you think that you like manage that relationship with God versus like your relationship with your flesh?
Okay, so I would really take that as, if I wanted to separate anything, first things first, it's important that you're looking for a relationship because you want a relationship with God first. Growing up, I was Christian growing up, but it didn't really feel like I had like that urge to have like a connection with him until maybe about like senior year. I had went through a lot of death like in high school, so that kind of encouraged me to let me see what this is really about, because I didn't have a personal relationship at all. So it was important that I wanted to seek him on my own, because then it felt personal, it felt real, it didn't feel forced. You know, it was something that I genuinely wanted for myself. So really the first thing I did was, well, first off, I'm one of those people who have a hard time actually understanding the Bible. So that was my first issue, like getting into it. It was difficult. So I had to like really like look up other things or talk to my mom to see like ways that I can understand the Bible. Because sometimes when you read something, you want to make sure you're not just reading it. You want to make sure like you actually understand it for what it says. And what I really had to do was start acting upon everything that I was reading. And that was one of the biggest struggles, because my flesh, obviously, I fall short a lot. So one thing I really had to do was start taking accountability and really looking at myself, being like, okay, you can't be mad about how this outcome is if you're doing A, B, and
Right.
C. I gotta really sit here and be like, okay, this is what God says. I really had to understand His promises. If I went back and I read His word and understood His promises, then I could always have that little reminder, like in my head, when I'm like about to sin, or if I'm trying to make sure I don't sin, I always have that reminder of what God says. Like, this is what He say. If I just listen to Him, I don't know what would happen in that one moment of obedience. So sometimes I try to remind myself, if I follow this word, if I do this and that, I don't know what the outcome might be, and I know it's difficult and it's hard and it's nothing that I want. The biggest thing is separating your emotions
Yeah.
from what God's will. Like, even though I may not agree with it, or I may not be happy about the outcome, the situation, or trying to control it, I really had to learn how to step back and realize I have no control over anything that goes on in my life, and trying to control it is going to do nothing but hurt me. So I had to really understand, like, okay, anything with a boy, like, if I can't control anything that happens in the outcome, like, I just got to be okay with how it ends. And it may hurt, I'm going to heal, I'm going to get over it, but every time something ends, something better ends up coming. And it took a long time for me to realize, like, okay, this situation may not have gone how I wanted to, but in the end, God got something way better for me in store, and I really just had to be okay with when things didn't go my way, because I don't know what He got planned for me, and I don't know. I know that I had to go through certain things to get to where I am today, and I gotta learn, like, even now, in real life, sexual sin is like a real thing. Like, it's for a lot of people don't like to talk about it because they'll feel embarrassed, but it's difficult, and it's something that I feel like needs to be talked about with women, because it's something that I know a lot of people struggle with. You got to be able to put your body first and make it a temple, and it's hard because sometimes you get lottie dottie with a boy and you like, okay, he really liked me.
Right.
Let me just give him this one piece. But one thing that I would say is, you got to realize, if he really love you, you really don't even got to do all that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't got to do something to keep a boy around. You got to think about yourself. Think about that the attachments you're creating when you do give yourself to somebody. That what I would say is my biggest struggle. Sexual sin is something that I'm not embarrassed to say to anybody. It's something that I feel a lot of people may not talk about, but you're not alone. But it's real, and it's something you can always get through. You just really got to be taking yourself accountable.
Yeah, I think that I kind of think the same way a little bit, as far as like just trying to intentionally like build that relationship. I know for me, like my biggest, like, I'm not gonna say it's my downfall, but like my biggest thing that I'm working on as far as like building my relationship with God is like trying to navigate my life with Him in mind. Like, I feel like a lot of times, like, I kind of just move like like I'm focused on what I'm doing, but like I move absent-mindedly, just because I kind of just am going through the motions sometimes. And like sometimes you honestly, like, I forget. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, so I'll just genuinely forget to think about, like what God would want me to do in this situation, or I'll forget like how I'm supposed to be moving or acting as a woman of God in those moments. And because I forget, like, that's why I'm saying, like, I have to take the steps to actually be more mindful about the decisions that I make, or like the people that I'm around, or the things that I say, or even the thoughts that I allow to come in my head. Like, and I have to actively work on, allowing myself to understand that, okay, like, is this glorifying God, or is this glorifying what, His will is for me in my life? And, I know for me, like, I went through a really big depression last year, and I realized that, like, once I got out of it and my mental just got so much clearer, like, I was able to hear God more, and I was able to understand like the things that He was actually putting in my life that I didn't even realize were there. Like, the blessings that I was getting, I didn't even realize that was stuff that I prayed for years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like then I wished, I prayed to God. I'm like, I just give me this, just give me this, just give me this. And it's like, now I have it, and I'm just so mumbo jumbo all over the place that, for one, I haven't even taken the time to thank Him for it. For two, I haven't even realized that this is what I prayed for and He gave it to me. And that's why I'm saying, like, being intentional about what I'm asking for, being intentional about watching and trusting the process of Him giving it to me, and then be intentional on like my gratitude towards Him for it. Is definitely like the steps that I'm taking in order to build my relationship with God, because I feel like our 20s is a trying time, to say the least. I feel like this is the age bracket where we start to like experience a lot more. We're like gaining a lot more independence, and we're having to make choices for ourselves that like we've never had to make. We have to like focus and understand a lot more things than we've ever had to, from a different lens. And I feel like it's really important for me personally and for everybody, I feel like in their 20s, to kind of just like put that God lens in between what is going on and what you think about it, just so that you can kind of get like a level-headed groundedness on what's going on. And I'm a firm believer, like, me, I know you, like we outside, like, we I'm not saying we know prudes or nothing, like we get in our bag for sure, like we go out, we drink, we smoke, we party, but I'm saying we also take care of our responsibilities too. And I like to believe that like God understands. He's a very understanding God, and he understands exactly what we're going through, and he knows my heart, and he understands that like all of that stuff is a part of life. Like, it's never about my mom used to tell me this all the time. She used to be like, pursuing God and seeking God and like trying to grow within God is never about restricting yourself. It's just about changing your perspective on a lot of things that you do. And then she always says, like, once your perspective changes, then your perception will change about what you're going through, and then you can see it in a different light, and you can make better decisions and better choices. So I think that like my tip to anybody who is seeking a valid relationship with God is just to, like I said, put on that lens, throw on those contact lenses, and like try to see the world through the eyes of the person in Christ that you want to be, and not like from the person that you are now. And like I said, I still struggle with it all the time. Like, there's times where I forget to pray, or there's times where I forget to, do my devotional or read my Bible, or I'll skip church. Like, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I'm actively striving every day, even if I forget that day, every other day, to strengthen that relationship with God, because it is important. And I feel like it's so 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 important for us, especially like women our age, to be grounded in something. I feel like having a relationship with God, it gives you a framework to like ground yourself, because if not, like, you're willy-nilly, you're letting yourself take the wheel, you're letting your flesh take the wheel, and every decision that you make is based off of emotions, or is based off of temptation, or is based off of peer pressure. And it's like, if you're not grounded in anything, like if your feet aren't touching the ground, you're kind of just floating through life, and that'll eventually cause you to float away. So definitely, like, I know for me, like, it's important for me to like start to actively, like I said, implement those godly habits in my life, so I can remain grounded. So like, when stuff does start to get shaky, or when I do feel like things aren't going my way, like, I have something to refer back to. And it's a lot, and I'm not even gonna, this is gonna sound harsh, but like, honestly, I feel like it's a lot harder to not be grounded in God than it is to be grounded in God, because it's almost like like having God on your side is almost like a cop out. Like, you like, okay, well, there's something bigger than me that's gonna handle this, right? Like, not me. Like, like, you can almost like throw your hands up and just rely on something bigger than yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, not something that's physical. Like, you can rely on something that's way bigger than our entire like spectrum that we live on. And for me, like, that's important for me, because I know I get overwhelmed a lot, and I just be like, throw my hands up, give it to God, like, give it to God. So that's why it's important for me to have a relationship with God, especially now, because like I said, it's trying times. Everything's going on. Like, society is in a weird place. I think a good place, but nonetheless, it's just different than what it used to be. And I feel like definitely having something to ground yourself in is like, I can't even stress that enough. And that's kind of what keeps me going, and that's what allows me to kind of be who I am. But also have that safety net in the back of my mind, because I know, like, I know who I am. And I'll always revert to that person before I revert to being like the person who lives in the flesh. So how do you think that you like prioritize your relationship with God? Like, what does that look like to ensure that like you keep God in like your everyday life?
Some of the things that I try to do is I keep a routine. I just seen this cute way on TikTok on ways to understand like your daily devotionals better. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I'll do in the morning is try to make sure the first thing I remind myself to do is pray. I try to not touch my phone in the morning first, because that's something that used to be a bad habit of mine, go on my phone first thing in the morning. But I'm now telling myself, in the morning, why do not like thank God for opening your eyes first? Like, that's the first thing that you should be thanking Him for. And I realized that if I pray first in the morning, that sets the whole tone.
Yeah, for the day.
That changes the whole, that could protect me from things that could have happened during that day. You don't know what could happen if you just stopped and prayed in that very moment. So the first thing I try to do is make sure that I pray. And then usually I read my daily devotionals. I have a favorite author, Lisa Tursk. She's this amazing girl that has like these daily devotionals. I usually read it, and then what I try to do is decipher it even more, like get deeper into it. I write down what I think the message of it is, what's the point of it, how can I interpret it in my daily life based off of that scripture that I got. And I try to look for something godly in every day, like just the sun, like enjoy walking outside, feeling the air. Like I feel like I'm trying to feel God's peace in every moment because it changes the way you view the world. So I just try to make sure that I'm praying constantly. I pray before I make big decisions, like with anything. Like if I'm easily angered. So whenever I get in a situation where I feel like I could get very angry, the first thing I want to do is, well, what would God do? I try to make sure that before I have if I know I'm gonna end up having a conversation with someone, I want to make sure my words are like Christ-like. I try to remind myself, okay, well, how would he communicate? How would he say this? And then I also try to make sure I live out what I read. My biggest thing that I'm pretty proud of myself about is I'm a pretty really forgiving person, and I feel like it's hard to forgive people, especially when people hurt you intentionally. And I try to look at it at different views, like maybe someone's hurting me because they've got their own issues going on, and I really just gotta step aside and just be the bigger person and be like, you know what, I forgive you. That doesn't mean you gotta welcome somebody back into your life, but that releases so much off of you. And I gotta be able to forgive people just like God forgives me. I sin every day, so I gotta be able to live that out, and I try to influence that with other people. Like you gotta be able to forgive people. You don't gotta forgive, but you gotta forgive, and you gotta let that off your heart. So that's something that I do every day. I make sure if someone's sincere, they apologize to me. All is forgiven, and even if they don't apologize to me, I forgive you within my heart, and we take that off, and that's how we move forward. That. You got to be able to forgive people. And then another way is I'm trying to read books about boundaries, and I feel like doing things like that, learning about boundaries, also helps your relationship with God, because you got to be able to let people know, hey, I'm not doing this. This is something I'm not okay with. Just like temptation, nah, this is not what we're gonna do. We're not gonna do this. Yeah. Anything to try to avoid separation from God, because some sins do really separate you away from God, and I try to avoid doing things like that, because I could be on a good path, feeling good, actually feeling the Holy Spirit, and sometimes I'll mess up and I'll do something and I feel like I've been taken aback real far. So, but one thing I will say, when you're in situations like that, you can always go back to God. You don't gotta feel like, oh, he mad at me. I keep messing up. I keep doing the same thing, and that's something that has also strengthened my relationship. Knowing that I can always go back to someone, and I got someone who has my back, who has my corner, and knowing that God is never gonna leave your side. That is the biggest thing that comforts me. Knowing even a boy might leave, a friend might leave. Excuse me. Anybody might leave, but to know God's promises and know that He's not gonna leave you, it gets better when understanding your scripture, incorporating your scripture in your prayers, understanding what you're praying about. Like you said, being more intentional about what you ask for and what you're praying about, and really being patient. The biggest thing is patience when it comes to God, because we may want it now, but he might be like, you're not ready. You're not ready. But also, it's all that time your waiting season. You need to be ready for when He do give it to you, because sometimes you might not think you're ready, and He gonna lay it right there on your lap, and it's go time. It's time to do what you said you was gonna do. He giving you the opportunity, and it's best to try not to waste it. So I just try to make sure I talk to other people, get different perspectives about what I'm reading, because sometimes it's hard to understand what you're reading and incorporate in your daily life. But as long as I'm trying every day to oh, okay, this is what I'm doing. Let me make sure I change the way I speak about something, or even like you say, your thoughts. I try to change the way I talk. I'll catch myself cussing a little bit too much and be like, okay, I don't need to be doing all that. Or I'll catch myself talking about someone and I don't need to be doing that. It's just making sure I'm not judging nobody, because who am I to judge anybody? Yeah. So I just try to make sure that I'm self-aware about the things that He says, I shouldn't be doing, and try and change my life around it. And when I do that, it just makes my life more peaceful by listening to him, because when you're obedient, sometimes he just help you.
Yeah.
In situations like that.
Yeah, that's good. And it's refreshing to hear you speak like that, because like I said, it's not a lot of like young people, especially young women, who like have those ideologies about God and like are in, like I said, and serious and intentional about, keeping those relationships and operating in him like on a deeper level, because a lot of us um like I like to call it, like a lot of us are just like Christian by upbringing or Christian by heritage, and not really like Christian by like the choice, like, and I was kind of the same way. Like I grew up in the church. I grew up going to church all the time, every single week. My mom is a really Christ-like lady. Like she really prides herself on being a woman of God. And for me, like it was a couple years ago where I actively made the decision. I was like, okay, like I want to devote my life to God. Like I want to have God in my life as like a vessel, and I want to be able to like utilize my really day life.
Some of the things that I try to do is I keep a routine. I just seen this cute way on TikTok on ways to understand like your daily devotionals better.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I'll do in the morning is, try to make sure the first thing I remind myself to do is pray. I try to not touch my phone in the morning first, because that's something that used to be a bad habit of mine, go on my phone first thing in the morning. But I'm now telling myself, in the morning, why do not like thank God for opening your eyes first? Like that's the first thing that you should be thanking him for. And I realized that if I pray first in the morning, that sets the whole tone.
Yeah, for the day.
That changes the whole that could protect me from things that could have happened during that day. Mm-hmm. You don't know what could happen if you just stopped and prayed in that very moment. So the first thing I try to do is make sure that I pray. And then usually I read my daily devotionals. I have a favorite author, Lisa Turse. She's this amazing girl that has like these daily devotionals. I usually read it, and then what I try to do is decipher it even more, like get deeper into it. I write down what I think the message of it is, what's the point of it, how can I interpret it in my daily life based off of that scripture that I got. And I try to look for something godly in every day, like just the sun, like enjoy walking outside, feeling the air. Like I feel like I'm trying to feel God's peace in every moment, because it changes the way you view the world. So I just try to make sure that I'm praying constantly. I pray before I make big decisions, like with anything. Like I'm easily angered. So whenever I get in a situation where I feel like I could get very angry, the first thing I want to do is, well, what would God do? I try to make sure that before I have if I know I'm going to end up having a conversation with someone, I want to make sure my words are like Christ-like. I try to remind myself, okay, well, how would he communicate? How would he say this? And then I also try to make sure I live out what I read. Mm-hmm. My biggest thing that I'm pretty proud of myself about is I'm a pretty, really forgiving person. And I feel like it's hard to forgive people, especially when people hurt you intentionally. And I try to look at it at different views. Like maybe someone's hurting me because they've got their own issues going on. And I really just got to step aside and just be the bigger person and be like, you know what? I forgive you. That doesn't mean you got to welcome somebody back into your life, but that releases so much off of you. And I got to be able to forgive people just like God forgives me. I sin every day. So I got to be able to live that out, and I try to influence that with other people. Like you got to be able to forgive people. You don't got to forgive, but you got to forgive, and you got to let that off your heart. So that's something that I do every day. I make sure if someone's sincere, they apologize to me, all is forgiven. And even if they don't apologize to me, I forgive you within my heart, and we take that off. And that's how we move forward.
Yeah.
You got to be able to forgive people. And then another way is I'm trying to read books about boundaries, and I feel like doing things like that, learning about boundaries, also helps your relationship with God, because you got to be able to let people know, hey, I'm not doing this. This is something I'm not okay with. Just like temptation, nah, this is not what we're gonna do. We're not gonna do this.
Yeah.
Anything to try to avoid separation from God, because some sins do really separate you away from God, and I try to avoid doing things like that, because I can be on a good path, feeling good, actually feeling the Holy Spirit, and sometimes I'll mess up and I'll do something and I feel like I've been taken aback real far. So, but one thing I will say, when you're in situations like that, you can always go back to God. You don't gotta feel like, oh, he mad at me. I keep messing up. I keep doing the same thing, and that's something that has also strengthened my relationship. knowing that I can always go back to someone, and I got someone who has my back, who has my corner, and knowing that God is never gonna leave your side. That is the biggest thing that comforts me. Knowing even so, a boy might leave, a friend might leave.
Excuse me.
Everybody might leave, but to know God's promises and know that He's not gonna leave you, it gets better when understanding your scripture, incorporating your scripture in your prayers, understanding what you're praying about. Like you said, being more intentional about what you ask for and what you're praying about, and really being patient. The biggest thing is patience when it comes to God, because we may want it now, but he might be like,
you're not ready.
You're not ready. But also, it's all that time your waiting season. You need to be ready for when He do give it to you, because sometimes you might not think you're ready, and He gonna lay it right there on your lap, and it's go time. It's time to do what you said you was gonna do. He giving you the opportunity, and it's best to try not to waste it. So I just try to make sure I talk to other people, get different perspectives about what I'm reading, because sometimes it's hard to understand what you're reading and incorporate in your daily life. But as long as I'm trying, like, every day to, like, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing. Let me make sure I change the way I speak about something, or even like you say, your thoughts. Like, I try to change the way I talk. Like, I'll catch myself cussing a little bit too much and be like, okay, I don't need to be doing all that. Or I'll catch myself talking about someone and I don't need to be doing that. Like, it's just making sure I'm not judging nobody, because who am I to judge anybody?
Yeah.
So I just try to make sure that I'm self-aware about the things that He says, I shouldn't be doing, and try and change my life around it. And when I do that, it just makes my life more peaceful by listening to Him, because when you're obedient, sometimes He just help you.
Yeah.
In situations like that.
Yeah, that's good. And it's refreshing to hear you speak like that, because like I said, it's not a lot of like young people, especially young women, who like have those ideologies about God and like are in, like I said, and serious and intentional about, keeping those relationships and operating in Him like on a deeper level. Because a lot of us like I like to call it, like, a lot of us are just like Christian by upbringing or Christian by heritage, and not really like Christian by like the choice, like, and I was kind of the same way. Like, I grew up in the church. I grew up going to church all the time, every single week. My mom is a really Christ-like lady. Like, she really prides herself on being a woman of God. And for me, like, it was a couple years ago where I actively made the decision, and I was like, okay, like, I want to devote my life to God. Like, I want to have God in my life as like a vessel, and I want to be able to like utilize my relationship with God for me to get ahead, for me to have somebody, like you said, like, that'll always be there for me, and I can have somebody I can lean on that can kind of take the weight off of me sometimes. And like, I know me, like, I try to prioritize God. Like I said, like, it really just starts with my thoughts. Like, I'm really up here with it. So like, when I'm thinking and when I'm operating, when I'm moving, like, I try to operate my thoughts in God. Like, of course, like I said, I fall short all the time. Like, I'm a sinful person. Like, I'm a sinful person. But like I said, actively, I strive to be an image of God. And I try to use myself as an example for other people on like what God can do in your life and what your life can look like if you implement God, and to show people that it doesn't just have to be like long skirts and stuff. Like, you can be you, and you can also be a child of God at the same time, because it was important for me to understand too, on my journey to like finding Christ, was that like God is not trying to strip me of my individuality. He is trying to, just implement Himself and just be there for me, like, wherever I'm at, whatever stage I'm at, like, however I feel, whatever I'm doing, like, He still loves me as a child, the same way any mother would, you know what I'm saying? So just having that backbone is good for me. I wake up, I have a devotional every day. It gives me a scripture, and then it breaks down the scripture, and then it asks me to write something. It asks me a question, and then I like fill in the question. And I do that every morning. I do skip days sometimes because I forget, but I'll go back and I'll do all of the pages when I do remember. There's actually a reminder on my phone that pops up like 3 times a day, and it just says, take a second and pray, or like, take a second and thank God, or like, stop what you're doing, breathe, and have a moment with God. So those reminders come, and I constantly, like, because I'm a very forgetful person. Like, I will forget my own birthday if I could. So I like have to have those constant reminders throughout the day to let me know, like, hey, like, stay on track, like, stay the course, don't get too distracted. So that type of stuff helps me. as far as like really prioritizing God, I think that like my main thing is like to put God in whatever I'm doing. Like that's the biggest way that I think to like really prioritize him, because it's like even doing my show, like I prayed over this before I even started. Like I asked God, is this what I should be doing? I asked God to my biggest prayer is like, just God, order my steps. Like just order my steps in the way that they should go. And like in doing that, I will promise to glorify you. Like that's what I say in my prayer every single day, because I just want him to lead me in the direction I should go. And it's not like I want you to just fly me there, but like I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to walk there. Like I'm willing to go, but just order my steps. And like I think that that made me a little bit better in like just prioritizing him as a unit, because he's in what I do. Like I don't do anything if God is not in it anymore. I used to a lot, but anymore I definitely center God in the middle of like my relationships. I center God in the middle of like my friendships. I center God in the middle of my business ventures. Like even when I go to work, like I'll have a good night and make hella money, and I'm just like, I thank God for this, like this right here, because he gave this to me. Like this is not me, like the things that I do at work to make more money than everybody else, to become the top earner, like that's not me, like that's God moving through me. And I always acknowledge that in everything I do. Like I feel like everybody now knows Keith Lee on TikTok, and he always says that like I just thank God to be a vessel, like, and that it always sticks with me, because it's just like that's literally what I want to be. Like I want to be so influential in so many people's lives, and I want them to understand that it's not me. And then if I can do that, in doing that you bring other people closer to God, because if they can see what he can do for you, then they feel like they can do, you know what I'm saying? Like so just kind of allowing God to use me in my everyday life in any way that he can to impact somebody else's life positively is what keeps me grounded. And that's how I prioritize God, by kind of just keeping him in the middle of my loop, like just keeping him in the middle of my loop, because without him, you'd be all over the place. Because I was all over the place. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people be all over the place.
No, I was all over the place.
But yeah, so the last question on this, and then we'll move on to something else. I know we got all heavy and we got all serious fast. It's proper. It's going to be upbeat in just a second. What do you think that the hardest part about being like a young woman of God is?
The hardest part for me about being a young woman of God is trying to become a Proverbs 31 woman. Trying to become a Proverbs 31 woman. I feel like sometimes God be waking me up in the middle of the night, and I be thinking I just gotta pee, but then I don't be falling back asleep. And I really think he's really trying to train me up, and I really just have to. I feel like it's hard because I don't like waking up in the middle of the night. I like my full sleep, but I really feel like he's waking me up so I can get up and pray. I can protect myself. I can protect somebody else by getting up and just praying. I feel like he puts that on me to get up and do that, because I see it in my mom. I see it in my mom all the time. She get up, she be up at 5 in the morning, praying. And I was hoping that wasn't gonna be me waking up at 5 in the morning, because I always feel like maybe just give me till 9 a.m. God, then we can start. But I really feel like sometimes it's difficult for me to just get up, but that's really the enemy. Mm-hmm. I feel like me not doing what I'm supposed to do, that's the enemy trying to push me away from God and mess up my relationship. And I feel like also being a woman of God, the closer I get, the bigger the spiritual warfare. Personally, my mom believes I'm prophetic. She believes, because I be having dreams and I be seeing things, and it's a gift that I'm not fully understanding of, because I'm young. Like I don't know how to use it. I don't understand it, and I'm still learning about it. But when I have certain nightmares, I pray for God to reveal it to me, and it's difficult because some things are very visual, very heavy for me to see in my dreams, and it scares me at times because I'm young and I'm not that grounded yet in my relationship. So some things like will push me away or scare me, and I'll be like, why do you want me to like see things like this? What's the message? Like, what are you trying to get from me? And what I really had to learn is stop trying to assume things, and I really got to sit down and like pray so that I can understand what he's telling me, what he wants me to do. I really just had to stop and just sit there and really be like, okay, what steps do I got to do? What are you trying to tell me? What do I need to read? Or are you trying to tell me I need to pray more? The power of prayer. I've had a dream before about the book of Revelations. I haven't even read the book of Revelations. So for me to have a dream about it, it was really shocking and scary for me. And the whole point of the dream is everybody had lived because I prayed in the dream. And I feel like the whole point of the dream was for me to understand the power of prayer. Yeah. You don't know how much can change. No. With just sitting down and praying.
Talking to God. Okay, so my grandmother is a what Christians call a prayer warrior. Like she got it. And this is gonna sound really crazy, but like my dad, my grandmother is his mother. My dad has gone through his life a very, very long time. And he's gone through his life in such a way that you would wonder how he's even still here. Like, he gets opportunities, sometimes undeserving opportunities, or like he gets grace in areas that you would wonder, like, how can somebody like you that doesn't prioritize God, or that doesn't really put God, like, how do you keep getting these blessings? And my mom actually put it in perspective for me, and she was just like, he has a praying mother. Like, he's always had that his whole life. Like, and I always forget that, like, 'cause she lives in a whole other state. And it's just like, she prays for us every day. She prays all the time. She has prayer sessions with her friends. Like, she's active in the church. I don't think that lady has missed a church service in a week in like probably 17 years. Like, she's active in her relationship with God. And she's like, he has a praying mother. And it put it in perspective for me, because it's like, that lady prays for his safety. She prays for his prosperity. She prays for his finances. She prays for his goals. Like, she prays for everything about him. And it shows, it's evident in his life. And like, I forget like the power of prayer works, and like, she's not praying for no reason. And this is why some of this stuff is happening. And I always attest it, because like I said, I haven't always prayed as much as I should, and I'm trying to actively get better with it, with like my devotionals and waking up and praying and stuff. I pray a lot in the shower. I feel like my shower is like my solitude prayer area. Like, I can really just be by myself, and kind of just like revel in God. And like, my shower actually has like a skylight at the top, so I can just see like straight to the roof, or like straight to the sky. And I just be looking, and I'm like, that's where I really get it in at. And like, it made me realize that like, my blessings and the things that have come for me, like, sometimes I didn't even pray for it, like, because I have a mother that prays. Like, I have a grandmother that prays for me. So like, really, the power of prayer is definitely misunderstood. I think that a lot of times people think like, oh God, I want a new car, boom, new car. Like, no, like, sometimes it's like, I just want to be like, I want to be at peace with my life. I want to be at peace with my health. And then, stuff like that gets answered in ways that are unrecognizable, or, you can ask God for like the recognition from everybody else to see that, like, you are a person of God, and like, other people will start to like shine lights on you, and then you'll start to see things like that. So, I think that like, the power of prayer is good. It's unlimited. Like, it's something that I feel like is honestly not even fathomable to man to understand 100%, because we don't know how it works. We don't really know what that is until after death. So I feel like, yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like, prayer saves lives, prayer saves people. And I think a big prayer that my mom always prays is just, she prays for her intuition. Like, she prays for God to open her eyes. Like, she prays for God to like put it in her to see further than the average person can. And like, that has saved her, me, and everybody else in a lot of different ways, because of her, insight, because of her ability to see the world through a lens of God. Like, she's able to see way further. And that's why she's probably ahead of a lot of us in my family, because of it. But the power of prayer is real. Like, and it's deep, and it's good to start early. Like, it's good to start early to kind of try to like build what that looks like for you, because prayer is not, the Lord's Prayer that we all learned. Or prayer is not just thanking God and asking God for stuff. Like, sometimes prayer is really just a conversation. And it's not one-sided, even though it may feel one-sided. And you actually have to do the work after too. And you have to have the clarity and the willingness to be open to hear God's response. Because sometimes he responds in a lot of ways that like, you wouldn't even recognize, and his responses can come through people that you probably wouldn't even think that they come through.
I want to piggyback on that. I just met a woman yesterday, and it was so crazy. She just spoke to me about, I feel like I was putting boys before my relationship with God, and it just so happened that me and her were the only people in the kitchen. And she's a beautiful 72-year-old woman. She just started basically preaching to me. She just started talking about how, you seek the kingdom of God first, and then everything else will come after. I feel like it was something that you never know what God will just put in your ear for you to like understand, or who will speak to you so that you understand something more. And I feel like it was perfect for me to be in that moment, in that presence with her, because all she kept going on about was put God first. Put God before your job, put God before everything. You need to put him first and everything will come after. And it was something that I really needed to understand and hear, because I would prioritize other things first, and those things don't deserve to come before him. And it was something that I really needed to hear again, so that I could understand, this isn't what you're supposed to be doing. And it's important to ask God for discernment earlier on. And if you meet somebody, pray about it, pray about the friendship. God is, if it's not for me, let's take it away early, so we don't have to even go through X, Y, and Z. So prayer, discernment, all of that is very important.
So to wrap this topic up before we move on, what would your advice be to like people who are just now starting, specifically women? Because I feel like we can only speak from a woman's standpoint. Specifically young women, like what would your advice be to a young woman who is attempting to start her relationship with God?
My advice would be, first things first, don't compare your relationship to somebody else's. Everybody has different points in their life with God. You never know what relationship somebody got with God. So the first things first, I know when I started, I would always look at my mom like, oh, my mom, she's so strong. She know how to pray. And that was a big thing. When it comes to praying, don't feel ashamed if you don't feel like you have all the words, or if you don't sound like somebody on TV, on your phone, in the church. Your prayer is personal, and over time, when you read the Bible, and that's why I said it's important to understand your scripture, because once you understand your word, then you can incorporate your word in your prayer and understand what you're praying about. So my advice would be, first, just reading that word, trying to understand what you're reading about, and try to incorporate it in your prayer. And just don't worry about the pace you're at, or don't compare yourself to anybody, because your relationship is your relationship, and that's what's important. Nobody can pray your way into heaven. So it's important to make sure that you try and have a relationship, but don't have it because somebody else is forcing you to. Do it because it's something that you want, something you're excited for, and it's something that you want. Like, it's something that you want to go for. It's like, okay, let me talk to God. I want to talk to God, and I want to tell you, it's as easy as having a conversation with your friends. If you can text your friends, you can talk to God. That's something that will pop up on my TikTok and remind me. If I could sit here and scroll through TikTok all this time, I could spend that time having a conversation with God, just talking to him about my day, thanking him for everything that he does. And it's important to thank him for the little things: breathing, blinking, being able to walk. Sometimes we forget about those things and think about what we don't have, but we need to be grateful for what we have in that moment. So I would say to make sure that you just understand what you're praying about, and really trying to build that relationship for yourself.
I think my advice would be to make it personal. Like, make the relationship personal. Just make it personal. It's kind of similar. Like, everybody's relationship is not what your relationship is going to look like. And I also had to learn the same thing. Like I told you, my mom is like deep in the word. Like, she's always been my whole life, and I used to try to emulate what she did, because that worked for her, so I thought it worked for me. And then I realized that, like, no, like, what works for me is what works for me. Like, my conversations with God don't look like the speaking in tongues and the, oh, I'm quoting scriptures in my prayer. Like, my prayers look like, hey, like, it's me again. Hey, like, I need you right now. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. And I also really start rambling, like I'm really talking to somebody. I'll be like, oh, this person, like, they did this, and that made me feel like this, and like, how am I so like, why would you put me in this situation? Like, I be going off sometimes, because sometimes it gets like that. And I think that you shouldn't. I would say not to. Don't be too hard on yourself too. Like, it comes with time, it comes with growth, it comes with age, and it comes with experience. I feel like the more experiences that you have that call you to lean and rely on God, that is where the relationship really starts to come in at, and that's where it really you start to feel it a little bit more. And I feel like the more you expand your life, the more you need help, and the help that you need, go there. Like, don't go to people, go there. That's another big one. Go to God first. Like, go to God first before you go to anybody else. Anybody else. think about it, internalize it, pray about it, then present it to other people. Because then, like, you pray about it first, and you can even pray, like, if something's going on, you're like, oh, bro, I need some advice or something. Be like, God, give me a sign, or send me the people that that need to help me with this. And then you talk about it with somebody, and then their answer might, you might talk to somebody you never even thought about talking to, and their answer might be like, what, like you would have never expected that person to say that, but that it came from there. So we're going to wrap up that topic. If you guys have anything else to say about it, or you have anything else you want to share, drop it down in the comments, and let us know. That's a really serious topic, so let's not joke about that one. But now we're going to switch the vibe up. We're going to switch the vibe up, and now we're going to get into the gossip. Well, it's not gossip, but we're just going to get into something a little bit more light. But I hope you guys really took something from that, because like that's real. Like, that's real, and it is important to like put God in your life, especially at an early age, so that you don't like spiral, and you don't look up in your 30 and you're still like practicing the same habits that you had when you were 20, or whatever the case may be. So moving on, the next topic, we're going to get into something a little bit more specific, but the overall thing I want to talk about is the impact of hair in the community of Black women, and how important we've made like hair in our society, in our culture. And more specifically, I want to talk about like the hairstyles that we feel like we attract different people with, because I feel like it's different. I honestly, I have experienced different versions of people depending on the way that my hair was, and honestly, that sounds crazy, but it's so true. I feel like in the community, especially with Black women, like, hair is extremely important. Like, it can make or break you. So I want to talk about like the impact on like hair in the Black community, or in just like society and culture, and what that looks like, and just get your thoughts on it.
The first thing is, when I think about hair, I go back to when I was younger, because growing up, I didn't have no weaves or nothing like that. My mom thought straightening hair was me being too fast. So growing up, it was a little difficult, only around people, non-Black women. Like, it was difficult because you would have people say things like, I got two pom-poms, or if I had braids, it was like, oh, you got horse hair. It was, yeah.
I forgot about that. I've had that said to me before, and you just like brought up a memory. Yeah, like, I didn't even,
like, half of the stuff like people would say didn't even make sense. But like, as a little girl, it's difficult to hear, because I can admit, for myself growing up, I just wanted to fit in with everyone else. Like, in middle school, I just wanted to be around everyone else. I didn't want to be different. So it was a little bit difficult, depending. If I had two puffs, it was, oh, your hair is short, or you're bald. They don't know nothing about shrinkage. So there's that. And then with my braids, God forbid a braid fell out while I was asking.
Bye. Because that happened to me one time, and it was one of the most, okay, hold on, before I even get into that, I have to tell this story, because this story,
I know what story.
This story, I'm still traumatized to this day about this. So there was one time I was in the 3rd grade. I was like 8 years old, and I had some cornrows. Like, they were long. Like, I had cornrows. They went down to the back. They were long. And as a kid, you guys remember the monkey bars? You just all the way down them. And I didn't have any upper body strength. Like, when I say none, like, I could not finish the monkey bars. Like, I could jump to probably like the 3rd one, kick 2, and then not fall. So everybody else is doing them. Like, they're swinging their legs up. They like swinging upside down on them. I'm like, dang. So then everybody like, Jordan, it's my turn. And I'm like, yo, like, what am I finna do? So I had the bright idea. I went cornrows. I had one right down the middle of my head. I took the cornrow, I tied it to the monkey bars, double knotted it. In my mind, I was finna swing back and forth from this braid. That's what I thought was gonna happen. So I get up there, I tie the braid, I jump off. Boom, I'm expecting to swing. Boom, hit the ground. I'm like, all I hear is, it literally sounded like Velcro, y'all. I look up, this cornrow is swinging from the monkey bars, and I had like a reverse mohawk in the middle of my head, and all of my hair was gone. And everybody laughed. Everybody thought it was funny. Looking back, that shit was hilarious. And if I was in that position, I would have laughed at me too. But I was so traumatized. So I like untied the braid. I took it down, ran in the bathroom. Like, I'm like literally setting it where it was supposed to be at because there's no more hair there. Like, all the hair is in the braid. And I had to go to my granny and I'm like, can you please, like, I cannot tell my mom that this happened. Like, I can't tell my mom. So she like sewed the braid back in place to like my other braids. And I was able to wear my hair for like a little bit longer. But the hair took a while to grow back. It took a while to grow back. And like my shit was like split in two for like a very, very long time because I thought that I could swing from my braid from the monkey bars.
I just wonder what the thought process was when tying the braid. Like,
I just told you, I thought I was finna swing from it. I thought I was finna like move my body and like swing from it. Like, I thought that that would be so cool because like it was different. Like, nobody else was doing that. So that's what I did. And that's when I realized that what gravity was. Looking back, even looking back when I was like 8, I was like, dang, like, why didn't I think, why didn't I think it through? Yeah, so I had to rock a reverse mohawk for like a little bit. I was getting braids and stuff. You know, I flipped my little braids over like side parts and stuff. So I got to hide it, but I just thought I should tell that story. Because what was I getting at? What was I talking about?
We were talking about the impact.
Yeah, no, yeah, so I forgot why I brought that up, but I needed to tell that story. But back to it, yeah. Hair becomes important in the Black community from a young age. I feel like elders and like Black women and even people in general, they put a lot of pressure on like girls, especially Black girls, to like have their hair done or to look a certain way or to look kept or whatever. And we're really, yeah, we're not taught to love our natural hair. We're not taught to even like our natural hair. We're taught to do things, to manipulate it, to cover it up, to make it look a certain way, you know. And I recently saw a TikTok where a girl, she was basically saying like, what did she say? She said, oh, like my black, she had like really really coarse 4C hair, and she was just like, oh yeah, like I love my hair, like my hair looks fine, because she was like, I wear my hair, and she's like, oh, you guys are always saying that 4C hair is not manageable and it's not this and it's not that, and she's like, yeah, because you're trying to shape shift it, like just let it be what it is. And it really put it into perspective. I'm still not there yet, but I applaud people who are, because like that takes a big stand, because especially growing up, like if you were dark and you had an afro, if you were dark and you had like coarse hair, it was like, yo, like what, like what's going on with this? And that's somebody who experienced both of those things. Like it was hard, and like the pressure on me to like cover my hair up and to have it in other styles, or you know, to look a certain way, was like really really heavy. Like I hated my hair, I hated that it wasn't long, I hated that it wasn't full, I hated that I couldn't just do what everybody else did with their hair, like I wanted to, because everybody else made it look so easy, and it wasn't like that for me. And you know, you old hoes don't help either, because older Black women are so judgmental on younger girls when it comes to how their hair is. Even like on the internet and on social media, like it's even worse. Like you see, like they will talk about children on the internet if their hair not done, and like it just it brings up internalized hate for our hair, and that's what causes us to do so many other things, and to get perms and to get weaves and to get all this other stuff to try to like, you know, fit the standard of what our hair should look like. And it sucks, it really does suck.
And it all starts at a young age. Yeah, everything starts off when you're young.
Yeah, you're a little kid. Like a lot of that stuff, like that internalization from what happened, like it came from when I was younger. Like,
and it's hard to grow out of it. It's hard to end up being comfortable after all this time. I mean, I feel like the older you get, the more you stop worrying about what other people think, the easier it gets. But people got to realize it really takes time. It's easier said than done, especially like if people have never experienced it themselves. It's easy to say like, oh, I think it's beautiful. Yeah, but you also didn't go through anything. Right. Someone made you feel like it wasn't beautiful. Or like, have you really broke a comb? Right. Trying to comb it. Yeah. Like, do you really understand?
And a lot of times the answer is no. Like, the answer is no. And I'm still, even to this day, like, I always say, like, I feel like I look like a 12-year-old when I have my natural hair out. Or, like, you know, I wear a bun and I feel like I look like a little kid. Like, I don't feel like myself. Like, I don't feel like a baddie. Like, I'm supposed to. And, of course, like, that's internalized issues that I have within myself. But, like, that's just the way that it is. And I know a lot of other people feel the exact same way that I feel, too. Which leads me into, like, what I originally wanted to talk about was, like, the different type of attention that you get from different type of people when your hair is a certain way. Like I know me personally, like when I wear my natural hair out, for one, I don't get, and I'm not saying like I'm bald headed, like I have enough hair to put in a ponytail, like I can wear buns and all that type. Like I just choose not to because that's just not my look. But like I can say like even the attention that I get from other people, like for one, people treat me like I'm a kid when my natural hair is out. I don't get as much attention from men as when I have my hair like done a certain way, or like if I'm wearing like a wig or a weave or a ponytail or whatever. Like the type of men that I attract when my hair is natural is way different, and people just kind of assume that I'm like a down to earth like hotep pan African like type person when my hair's out. Like people treat me like I'm like a power to the people type person, and I'm like, no, like I'm still young and turned. Like I just my hair's just out. So what's been your experience in like the type of people that you've encountered, or even the way that people treat you when your hair is like different ways?
When my hair is curly, it's like all the men in the world is coming.
Really?
When my hair is curly, like I have some curly clip ends in, and it's like, okay, like that's what y'all like. Y'all like the curly hair, whatever. But anything somebody like, I like to do the opposite. So
really?
If a boy tell me I like your hair curly, it's about to be straight because you ain't about to tell me nothing. I look cute both ways, but when my hair's straight, it feels more professional. I feel like that's when older like white men will treat me better.
Really?
Yeah, I've always felt like when my hair's straight, that's where it's like, oh, she looks presentable. With my curly hair, it's like they still looking at me a certain type of way, you know. When I got braids, I feel like I look like a little kid. When I haven't had braids, and I feel that's definitely an insecurity of my own because I haven't had braids since high school. Because I feel that way about myself, and it sucks because there's some cute knowledge
y'all getting tricky with these braids.
That I need
for real.
And they busting 200 and
300 and 400 and something dollars.
I might just get it. You know, if I buy a wig, at least I can keep re-wearing it.
For real.
But the braids, I don't know.
That's a one and done. But they last if you take care of them.
One and done. But I just feel like I definitely attract different men. I get treated differently based off of my hairstyle, so I kind of try to avoid certain things. Like if I wear my natural hair out in a claw clip, ain't no boy coming up to me. They probably think I'm 16. I tutored these kids, and they did say I look 16 with my claw clip. So probably when I go to work next week, they probably not gonna think I look 16. But I was offended because I'm 19, about to turn 20. I'm like, dang, like maybe I should take it as a good thing. You know, black don't crack. So I guess I'm gonna be growing up looking good when I get older, but I definitely get treated differently. I've had a boy tell me one time, keep my hair straight. It looks better that way. And I was like,
you're out of here. Like, I was like, that's so offensive. And like, they don't even make sense. I was like, ew. Side eye. No, like, but like, it's bombastic side eye. Like, I feel like people are way too comfortable now, like making comments on people's hair. Like, this is like, and especially in real life, like people are like kind of bleeding social media into real life, like thinking that you can just like say anything to people, and it's like, no, bro, like you can't say that to somebody, especially when like they're real people. Like I know for a fact, like sometimes like when I do wear my natural hair, like if I am in between hairstyles and like I'll just throw my hair in a bun real quick, do some edges, and I'm out the door. It's like if I didn't roll up and I didn't like brush my hair or like redo the bun or add some more product or whatever the case, like I'm gonna look crazy. I'm gonna look unkept. I'm gonna look like I just didn't put any effort. But then it's like, you know, somebody with a different texture of hair can just throw it up, have it flyaways, you know, and then like that's applauded. And I saw a post on TikTok, and I guess it's a person, and they're in, I think, the DC area, and they go around and they ask men like, oh, like what's your favorite hairstyle on black women or whatever. And then like some of them, there was this one guy, and he was like, oh, I just love when a black woman, when she just throws her hair up in a messy bun. And I was just like,
you're not talking about me.
You're not talking about me. You're not talking about me, because my messy bun is going to make me, you're not talking about me. So then it just like, and then it's like even stuff like that like, people don't even realize that people like me or like people with like coarser texture hair, like they hear that and they're like, oh dang, like, you know, like that's not me, you know, and then you feel insecure about it, because I know like I used to perm my hair, like I used to relax it, like I used to really try to make my hair not the way it was so that I could wear it the way that other people were wearing it. Or I could just, slick my hair back in a really, really nice slick bun and, it's not have like a hump on the side or it not get curly and wavy on the side. Like I want it to just be slick and straight. And I just realized like, that's not me. And I just have to actively start to love the person that I am, without all of the extensions or without the extra help, I guess. And I'm still working on it. It's still hard, but it's something that needs to be talked about because I feel like it's a struggle for a lot of Black women. I feel like a lot of our confidence is even rooted in what our hair looks like all the time. Like I know I feel so ugly when my hair is not done. Like if my hair is not done and it hasn't been for a while, like
depression started kicking in.
Yeah, like
depression really kicks in.
I start to feel not like myself and I start to like be down on myself. I start to question like even like my little boo thing. I'll be like, my hair not done. I'll be like, don't even look at me. Like, don't talk to me. Like, don't sit here and kiss on me and tell me that I look nice or that I look pretty because I don't. Like, I don't. And then, like, I can't say that to somebody else. But, it's just, it's an internalized feeling and it's an internalized thing that I feel like we need to change as a unit, like as a community, like the way that we treat Black women and their hair. And even in like the workforce or in white spaces, like, we just passed the freaking Crown Act like a couple years ago. And within the last 5 years, for people, who have locks or, people to not be discriminated against by what their hair looks like. And it's just like for us to have to pass laws for that instead of just being able to like be who we are everywhere is like it's ridiculous within itself.
Just like the army, them slick back buns.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Every day. Yeah. They just changed it though. Now you can wear a ponytail.
Yeah, thank God.
Now you can wear a ponytail. But even that, like, we got to do better.
And honestly, sometimes it comes from your own kind. I've had some Black men really like make me feel bad about myself growing up.
Really?
From just like some of the things that they've said to me. And I'm sitting here like, what does your mama hair look like? Because you the same color as me.
Right.
And you degraded me. How would your mom feel? I just think of things like that. I'm like, why even sit here and do that? Like, or like sometimes I realize people will like try and put you down because like they unhappy with themselves.
Yeah, they want to build themselves up, so they put other people down. I know, like, recently I've seen on the internet, I've never really had an experience with this, like, head on, but, like, I know, like, because, a lot of men are growing their hair out, they're wearing braids, like, a lot of men are getting locks now, so it's just, like, I've heard a lot of men on the internet be like, oh, like, I got more hair than these women, or I got more hair than these hoes, or I just be like, bro, what? Like, why would you, for one, you're sassy. For two, it's just like, why would you make another woman feel inadequate to you about something that you know is a big insecurity in women? Like,
it's like they pick. They're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
You're trying to put somebody down. You're trying to make somebody feel bad about themselves. And it's like, what do you gain from it? Like,
yeah, they're trying to feel better about
really
themselves.
Makes you feel good. Like, are you a female? Why are you so happy about like doing it? Like,
right? Like, why would? Okay, and like
really,
okay,
you're sassy as hell. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's an epidemic. It's an epidemic, and I need everybody to just do better. I feel like women should take bigger stances on like growing their confidence and being able to like be like, you know what, this is what it is. This is how I go, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, be more confident in what we do. Be more confident no matter how we look, and not put so much emphasis in our hair to define who we are. Shout out to India Irie. Her song "I Am Not My Hair." Like that's a real thing, and that song came out in like what 2009 or like 8 or between 2006 and 2010. So it's just like even back then, like women have been going through this since forever. Like especially dark skinned women.
To get
like
a job, you got to change your hair to make sure you get a job the right way. You go in there with some looking the wrong way. Yeah,
even braids. Like braids to an interview is like red flag. Yeah. Like they're not going for it. And don't, God forbid, you want some color.
No,
like,
no color.
no color.
Brown is a push.
Brown is pushing it. Like even highlights is pushing it. So yeah, just like really internalize like you are not your hair. I have to do better in that because I don't even be wanting to get on this camera if my hair is not done. Like
I put clip-ins in this morning. I wasn't coming down here in my natural hair.
The lady literally canceled my hair appointment. I had a hair appointment on Wednesday night. She hit me with a hey boo and I said, no ma'am. So I wasn't even able to get my hair done. So I had to do it myself. And I never do my hair myself. No, not my hair like this. And I'm like, dang, like, I gotta, like, oh my God, I gotta have a leave out. And I was stressing myself out over this. And I was like, oh my God, what if it don't blend? Like, what if I get hot and it gets puffy and I'm on camera and it looks mess? And I'm just like, bro, like, calm down. Like, constantly, like, going like this. Like, y'all see me probably in all the episodes. I'm like, I'm so conscious of what.
Leave out at a party? Nah.
Yeah, I don't even think I would put myself through that. I would wear a hat. I would wear a hat because and that, like, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of internalized just, I feel like, not self-hatred, but like internalized self-insecurity about what our hair looks like. And I feel like men need to do a better job of uplifting Black women's hair, and not making us feel certain types of ways about what our hairs are.
Yeah, like there's a certain way your hair is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I've never understood that. What is my hair supposed to be like?
Right. Like it is what it is, no matter how I put it.
Who says straight hair is what hair is supposed to be like? Maybe y'all supposed to have 4C hair.
Exactly. Yeah. And then they try to say like, oh, like you're emulate, like you want to be white because you want your hair straight. And I'm just like, first of all, no.
I can't
like
stand people like that who try to make me feel bad for wearing we. You're not gonna make me feel bad for how my hair look, regardless. Because I'm gonna do what makes me happy.
Right. Like, and what makes me feel the best, like, and what makes me feel confident.
Feel good, you happy, like.
Yeah. And then another layer to this, I don't like other women that like go natural, or like they start embracing their hair and then they put down other women who choose to like still wear wigs or lace or weaves or whatever the case. A lot. And I just, or like they'll get on there and be like, oh, like you nappy headed hoes could never, or like, you know, like, oh, like I could go swimming with my natural hair out, like what can, like I just be like, bro, what? Like what are you even talking about? Like,
why you not showing me how to grow it? Where's the hair growth oil?
Where? Right.
Like, where is that at? Instead, it's like,
or like,
oh, I could wear a fro in the store. Like, okay, I'm really proud of you because that's a big thing.
Especially when it's genetics. It's like you didn't even put in the work to do it. It's like your genetics are just good. You were born like that. We get it. Like, we get it. We get it.
We get it.
Like, you know, we get it. Like, congratulations. We get it. Like, for real. Chocolate chip, sugar, snickerdoodle. What kind of cookie you want?
Gotta be peanut butter.
Peanut butter cookies?
No, Reese's peanut butter cookies. Get them from Santa Rose. I know it sounds bad, but you didn't trust me on Panera either. And here we are, y'all.
But see, me and Panera, we got like a relationship where like we know I go in there for a bagel and like a little souffle and the charged lemonade, and I get up out of there. Like, I'm not a Panera food eater, so I'm still on your bumper. But they got this bagel, this cinnamon crunch bagel that is phenomenal, and it has like a honey walnut cream cheese that goes on it. It is the best bagel I've ever had in my entire life. Yeah. Get it. Get it. Get it. It'll change your life. But yeah. So we're gonna wrap that up and we're gonna move on. But yeah, everybody needs to just be more compassionate and kinder to Black women as far as their hair goes. And side note, you hairstylists that be canceling on us, you bitches are losing y'all fucking minds. And I'm gonna start fighting you guys, and I'm gonna start reporting y'all to the Better Business Bureau.
Ooh,
because
do you even have a license? I'm gonna start reporting y'all.
I'm gonna start reporting y'all. And the next bitch that canceled, she really canceled on me. I was so sad. I was so sad. And then y'all prices are out of control. Y'all got all these rules and regulations.
What is so? No, for real, because I'm about to start learning how to braid my own hair.
Yes. Yes, bro.
That's why I started learning how to do wigs on my own. I'm so glad I started at a young age learning how to put on wigs. Because not only is the hair already so much money, if you want some good quality hair, you're going to have to spend some money. But you want me to pay the same price to get the install?
That's only going to last me a week and a half, 2 weeks?
I'm like, and y'all not even washing and blow drying and trimming my hair on top of it?
Hello?
Y'all just doing a braid down? What happened to actually taking care of real hair? They don't even do that no more. They don't know how to wash.
They don't oil your scalp. They don't deep condition you and sit you under the dryer. These hoes don't even have dryers.
They really don't.
Yeah, they don't even have
come
dryers. Washed, blow dried, bring your own edge control. Like, I done seen it all. Then you hoes got I remember even, like, I'm not even going to get into that. You get your hair done. You want, if I have to get it straight, or you're going to charge me $30 to curl my hair? Or to give me some wand curl? Like, when did styling?
Some crimp curls, because that might take a little time, but like.
Style should be a part of the service. Like, if I'm getting my hair done, I should walk out however I want to, especially if I'm paying you all this money. I used to go get my hair done by this girl in LA, and I was faithful to her. Like, I went to go get my hair done by her. And one day, my lace literally lifted not even 12 hours. It wasn't even 24. I mean, not even 24 hours. Like, I went to sleep, woke up, my whole, like, I could literally I had my nail and I could literally go like this. And it slid. I'm like, and she, like, her policy was like, oh, I don't answer DMs, no DMs. She didn't have a phone number anywhere. And then the shop was closed, so I couldn't even go. So I'm like, so I don't have no way to get in contact with you. My hair is all messed up and I can't even get it fixed or a partial refund. So I'm like, mind you, I'm almost ashamed to say how much I paid for this install. I paid $275 to get my hair done. And that shit lifted overnight. And it was nothing I could do about it. And I ended up having to redo it myself anyway. And I was pissed off. And then she upped her prices from like $275 to like $350 for a wig install. I'm like, girl, you're finna get punched in the face. Like,
looking like Jonathan. To be charging all that.
Everybody think they can charge prices. But
can y'all even plug? Y'all bleaching right? Is it looking right? Like,
then it's like, you want to charge me same day. If I bring my wig the same day, you're going to charge me $60. I get to the shop, you sitting there bleaching and plucking my wig anyway. So I'm over you.
When they tell you to drop it off early and then still be plucking it
the same day. Or like, I get there and you're working on somebody else's head and you're late. Like, if I'm late, you charge me $20. But if you're late, you don't take no money off my service.
We need to start on time.
If my appointment is at 1, I need to be sitting in that chair and you need to be touching my head at 1:01.
Literally. Let's get straight into it. That is really a big problem. No, honestly, because I was honestly just talking to my friend about this. I said, I want to get my hair braided so bad. And I remember when braids was $100.
Bro, literally.
Like,
you could get some to the butt braids for like $125.
To the butt. And now you want some butterfly logs, you want fox logs, you want some. No.
They even charge it by length. You want them to your butt, extra $50.
Yes, like what? That's
crazy. Or they be like, oh, if you have thick hair, extra charge. If you have long hair, extra charge. Yeah, if you just blunt cut your hair, extra charge.
If you don't have more than 2 inches,
extra. What? I'm like, whoa. Like, y'all can't braid for real. Like, people can't do hair. Like that's what it is. Or then like they braid your hair and they put all that product. I'd be like, bro, like, why are you using edge control in the middle of my head? These are not my edges. Like, bro, and then your hair be all greasy and then it be all stuck. Like, it's like, y'all can't even braid without gel no more. I remember that I used to have this hair lady and she retired and I'm so sad. So sad. She was from Jamaica. She used to braid me down. I'm talking them. Them hands used to be moving. She would have my whole head done in one movie. Literally. Like, I sit down, she put on the movie, my whole head be done braided. Mind you, I was little. My head was smaller and my braids wasn't as long as I get them now. But like, even still, like, she was moving and she used to only charge like $130 for like, or $120 or like $110 depending on the size. And I just be like, dang.
Well, it's just getting more expensive and expensive by the day.
But these hairstylists are trying to pay for their lifestyle. They're not trying to, like, they're not charging for what the service is actually worth. Yeah. They're charging for what they think that they should get to make a certain amount of money.
No, literally, when did ponytails end up being more than $100?
A ponytail? Like, all you gotta do is press and slick.
That's what I'm saying. I've done a ponytail on myself before. I know it don't need to be $100. Maybe $50, $75 at most.
$75 is like where it should be at.
$75 for a ponytail. You get a half up, half down. Y'all really not doing too much, especially if y'all not washing and blow drying my hair. If I'm already coming pressed out, we really shouldn't be charging as much. And I'm bringing my own products.
And my own hair. Like, bro.
You're really just doing the style for me. You're not providing nothing.
Yeah. It sucks. It sucks. And these hairstylists are losing their minds. And I'm over it. I'm over it. Like, I'm fed up with you hoes. I'm fed up. Completely fed up. But that's all we got to say about that. We're going to move on to the next segment. If you guys have anything else to say about that, or if any hairstylist is watching this and we got beef, or you want to get beefed up with me and explain why you charging an arm and a leg for a ponytail, then we can argue about it in the comments. Moving on. So the next segment is called Beats by Jay. And this is one of my favorite segments, actually. It is where we talk about music. We talk about what we listening to now, and like we give y'all some oldies but goodies that we used to listen to that we feel like need to come on back in rotation. So I'll let you go first with an oldie but goodie. It don't gotta be one. You can do a couple.
My favorite oldie but goodie is Anniversary by 2020 Tone. That song right there, it hits the heart. I always know that if I was married, my anniversary come up, that right there would be the song that bring me like the most joy. Like, that song, anytime that song come on, it's like I'm in a good mood. like straight off the bat. Like that song definitely does something to me. Another song, Superman by Monica.
Yes. Oh,
my mom was
Monica.
CD warrior growing
my
up.
mom had the Monica CD, the one where she had that little low cut, and she used to play that on repeat. She had that's the one that had like Superwoman on it. It had Superman, Angel of Mine, Everything to Me. So good. Oh, Monica. Yeah, that's a good one. You actually just brought that one back up for me. I need to as always, you guys, all the songs that we talk about that we list will be in the Spotify playlist that is linked down below. So go ahead and check that out. Listen to our little oldies but goodies and our new song. And if you have any updates or any suggestions you want to put us on, then put them down in the comments. For real. What my oldie but goodie, Love of My Life by Brian McKnight. About that man can sing. That man can sing. That one, that's actually on my wedding songs playlist. I want that to be a song that I play at my wedding. It's so beautiful. I love that song so much. Another one, a oldie but goodie, and this one's probably gonna go left field, but Locked Out of Heaven by Bruno Mars. I have not heard that song in a long time, but I heard it recently. It's on like the playlist that we play at work, and I just get so excited every time I hear it because it's just such an upbeat, joyful song, and I'm just like, dang, like that's a vibe. Bruno Mars has been making good music for a very long time, and his music just keeps evolving into something better and better and better and better and better. So that's another one. I'm trying to think if I have another oldie booty. I feel like I do, but I just can't think of what it is right now. Oh no, I think I said this on the last episode. I'm not gonna say it again.
What you think about Brandy?
I never was a big Brandy listener. I only know like a couple of her songs.
Fantasia?
The hits. I only know the hits. I don't know the deep cuts. I know a couple, but I only know the hits. They try to say that Fantasia is one of like the best singers. Really?
I've been listening.
Does she still make music?
I don't even know. I only listen to her. Sometimes I really only listen to the old stuff, and sometimes when new music comes out, it don't sound the same. Like Drake, I love Drake for instance, but his old music, it's way better than his new music. It just don't hit the same.
I'm not gonna say it's way better. I feel like it's just different. I feel like the nostalgia paired with
the way the
song.
world has changed too. I feel like his music has changed with it as well.
He just keeps evolving because he still makes great music. Like Drake is still one of the best.
Artists that was hurt. And their music sounded better when they was going through something. Now that they're not going through nothing, I don't know what to relate to. Yeah. But
I think I said this on a past episode, but since we're talking about Drake, he has a song from Take Care, and it's called Look What You've Done, and it's just... that's my song. That is my song. Drake, old Drake, yeah, he was a vibe. Like, a vibe. I love old Drake, his sad music when he was, like, really butthurt all the time about these hoes. Like, that's when he was making them bangers.
I love Drake. I knew who he was from a young age from Degrassi. Exactly.
I never watched Degrassi.
No.
I never did.
You don't know who Jimmy is. Jimmy was in a wheelchair.
No, I remember him being in the wheelchair, but like I never watched the show.
He was rapping on the show, so it's really funny that now like he's become even
this big artist. Yeah.
It's really cool, honestly.
My last oldie but goodie before we move into the other ones is 03 Bonnie and Clyde by Beyonce and Jay-Z. A banger. A banger. I love Beyonce and Jay-Z collabs. I feel like they're always good. And that song just make you feel in love. Like, all I need is me and my boyfriend. Like, that's it. So I do love that song. Yeah. Oh, y'all already know. I'm Beehive down. Can't wait to see her in August.
Look, you missing out. Have you seen her yet?
No.
I've seen her 3 times growing up.
Really? Which stores did you go to?
I went to the Lemonade one and whatever 2 were before that. But the Lemonade one was the last one I went to with my family. And she don't ever disappoint. And I didn't have like no close seats like when I went to the Jack Harlow concert. I was right there on the floor. But it still felt surreal. Like it was, you're gonna really enjoy it.
And I'm like right there. When I tell y'all like it's stage and then it's me, like I paid a lot of money for the tickets.
And it's gonna be worth it because you get what you pay for.
Yeah,
you'll
the
never
experience.
Get those experience, that moment, none of that back, and it's great because you only live once. What if you die 2 days later?
I know.
But I bet you have fun.
I saw Beyonce, and then like the real reason why I was like I have to get tickets because I feel like this is probably gonna be her last tour. I feel like she's gonna retire soon, so I was like, now I gotta go see her. Like I feel like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and she just hit the status. She is the most awarded artist of all time.
I feel like it's crazy that I haven't seen Nicki in person yet. I've always been a Nicki fan.
Yeah, I'm a Barb I'm a Barb down to this day. Like
my brother taught me well growing up. Like he was a big Barb. He made sure he had her posters.
Yup.
Everywhere.
Pink Friday was like when that came out. Oh, another oldie but goodie, High School by Nicki
Minaj
and Lil Wayne.
I'm so glad you just said that song don't miss.
That song is a banger. Like she got bops upon bops upon bops upon bops.
Even her little break after having a kid, she still came
She
back
still
in
bangers.
like in eight. Like you would think like with all that time you might fall off a little bit. No, she came back not playing around.
Like her, Drake, her and Drake for sure, like the two of their like top of their game for sure. You thought they were gonna be together?
I think she was messing with Lil Wayne, but I don't know.
I think so too.
Yeah, it wasn't Drake because Drake was too in love. That's somebody.
Yeah, he was such a simp. He was such a simp. I don't know. I loved when her and Meek was together though.
She was
like
happy.
Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill. That was like the couple in my eyes. Like I wanted them to be together forever. Like
it was cute. And
I loved them.
They was cute.
Yeah. Honorable mention: All Eyes on You by Meek Mill, Chris Brown, and Nicki Minaj.
Yeah,
that song is it makes me warm inside. So my right now songs. I'm listening to that one song. I don't know what it's called, but it's by Rod Wave. And he be talking about he be like trying not to cry to a love song. Shoot, I don't know the name no more. I don't know the name. Oh wait, my phone's right here. You go while I find this
one. Okay, so my two songs right now that I am stuck on is "Rumors" by Lil Durk. That is my favorite. Favorite song. "Rumors" by Lil Durk is my favorite song.
I don't think I've heard that one.
Oh my gosh, that I need to insert that in on this moment. That song right there, I love that. And then "Computer Murders" by Lil Durk. That is also my song. Now, these songs are songs that hit even when I'm outside the car. So that's how you know I really love the song.
I didn't know they bangers.
If it's hitting in the car and it's hitting in my AirPods and it's hitting when my phone just playing out loud, I know I really just love the song for what the song is because them is my songs right now. I'm listening to that on replay in chapel. Unfortunately, it was always bumping.
Yeah, the Rod Wave song I was talking about is called "Fight the Feeling." It's new. I'm listening to that. "Beautiful" by Future and SZA is a go. Like it's so good. SZA and Future together on the track. They need to like join on the album or something. That's life. I'm still listening to "Creepin'" by The Weeknd and 21 Savage. That is my song. What else I'm listening to right now? I'm not listening to a lot.
Gotta Move On.
By P. Diddy and Bryson Tiller. Banger.
I love that song.
Banger. It feels like P. Diddy. Like it feels like older, like early 2000s, like funk R&B. That's a vibe. I'm also listening to "Red Man" by Lil Durk.
No, don't get me started with Lil Durk. Like I'm really at first I was listening to him because of niggas. I was like, okay, niggas like Lil Durk. But once I started listening to him for myself and finding songs I liked on my own, I was like, oh, no, I'm really rocking.
No, yeah, Durk.
Like,
he
real.
Oh, sharing locations. It has Lil Durk, Meek Mill, and Lil Baby all on the same track. Yep. And they do the thing where like they trade off bars. So like Durk raps, then Meek raps, then Lil Baby raps, and then they like keep. It's fire. That's another one I'm listening to. So that's it for Beats by Jay. Like I said, I'm gonna link all of those songs down in the Spotify playlist. Y'all listen to it. And like I said, put me on because I love listening to new music.
I need some soft girl music. I just started listening to The Internet. I don't know if
The Internet.
Yes.
Nah, I don't know nothing about that.
She is a nice, like soft vibe. Like she made me feel good. Definitely.
Okay.
Like peaceful. Like it's music that I can wake up in the morning and play while I'm doing my makeup and just relax. Like honestly, yeah. Hold On by The Internet.
Hold On by The Internet.
My best friend put me onto it. It was on her story one day, and I said, "What is it? Who is this? Who was this?" And
that's it.
I ain't going back.
Yeah. Okay, last one for real. "Do for Love" by Snow Allegra. That's the one. that Snow Allegra, for just as an artist, I've loved her for a long time.
Beautiful.
She's like modern day Sade. Like she is.
Oh
I love her. So
she sounds so. No, that song is really, really touching. That song would make me fall in love. Like,
no, literally.
If it's in the background of anything,
yeah,
it's like,
and like it's not even an original. Like it's a remake. People have remade that song so many times.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that the original came out in like the 70s, I think. But like her version, her rendition, so good. So good. So that is it. And we're going to move on to the next segment, which is the top 3. So we can either do this 2 ways. We can curate our own list. No, I think I want us to do it the other way. I think I'm going to just do it this way. We're going to create a list together.
Okay.
Of our top 3 female R&B singers of all time. We're going to go all time. We're not going to go right now. We're going to go all time. So, my first candidate. Now, let's just clear the air. Do we consider Beyonce an R&B singer? No? She's like a pop star, right? Okay. So, this is going to be controversial, but I'm going to say SZA deserves to be on this list.
SZA.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to fight you on that one because she's her. I don't know what, I don't really like, I feel like the problem is I don't consider like new artists most of the time R&B artists because they don't give me that same vibe and feeling that like older like music will give me.
You're right. So we're gonna do.
Because I wouldn't play no since I know.
Yeah, at a kicking it. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 lists then. We're gonna do new school female R&B artists and then old school R&B female artists. So we're gonna do the old school list first. When you talk about. And let's just keep it black. I think
Fantasia need to be on there. I've always been. She's so.
I can see why you would say that, but I don't think that she needs to be listed. She could be an honorable mention, but I don't think that she should be listed.
What about? Well, Monica gotta be, or Mary J. Blige. They all been here for too long.
Mary J. Blige was definitely gonna be on my list as number 3.
Okay. 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put her at number 3. Now this is gonna be very, very controversial right now, but you have to walk with me. Keisha Cole.
Oh no, that's not too. No,
Keisha Cole takes the number 1 spot as the OG R&B girl.
I can definitely agree with that.
Everybody know Keisha Cole. Men, women, old, young. Like her hits is still being played to this day. Love is a hood classic. Hood classic, like certified classic. So Keisha Cole is my number 1 draft pick for this list. So are you okay with that?
I am.
All right. Keisha Cole, Mary J. Blige. Fantasia is I'm gonna let you put her as our honorable mention.
Because I don't know, she's just I've always her Monica. It was really on the CDs. Like I don't know, growing up, like every black person should know who Monica is.
I think Monica is a good pick. I think that but I was gonna say Monica, but then we have Ashanti, and Ashanti held it down for a long time.
She did. I just don't know enough Ashanti personally.
To personally put her on the list, I would say no, but I can see why other people would put her on the list.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's go old.
Monica was my big one. I always grew up listening.
I feel like I can't think right now. That's why I don't know anybody. So I'm trying to look and see.
I know a lot of male.
Yeah. If we do like a male list, that'll be.
Put Ice Cube up there. I am. I really am.
On male R&B?
Well, he a little hood, so maybe.
What?
I don't know.
Ice Cube is a rapper. What do you? Don't piss me off.
I'm sorry.
Don't piss me off.
I'm on my 90s playlist. I'm sorry.
Oh, Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys has to go number 2. Over Monica, I feel like Alicia Keys had a bigger impact and she had more hits.
We just have to agree to disagree on that one.
All right, well, we'll let y'all decide in the comments who should go number 2. We're gonna go Monica versus Alicia Keys. We could go. No, because we need to. No, it's Alicia, bro. Alicia can go hit for hit with Monica and still win.
I'm gonna let them pick. I'm gonna stand by.
I'm gonna stand by you, Alicia. It's you. It's you, cause yeah, you got hits, you got bangers, and she ran that little era for a while.
She did. I'll give her that.
So that's old school. So we gonna go new school. SZA she's there. I don't know where she is, but she's there.
I love me some element.
I'm gonna have to fight you on that one.
I just feel like
I don't. She's good, but she shouldn't be listed. I don't think she should be listed.
What do you think about Summer Walker?
Summer Walker should be listed.
Okay.
Summer Walker is probably the number one. Yeah,
okay.
She going number one. Number one draft pick for sure. SZA is number 2.
Yeah, there was a big argument over that too. People putting SZA over Summer, but I feel like Summer, we can never get over that album that came out.
No, we'll never. Like that's a hood classic.
Man,
that's a classic. Like
she don't.
That was a no skip. That was a beautiful masterpiece. Skip.
Like no, you didn't need to skip.
We haven't had a no skip album from any artist in a very long time, especially an R&B singer. For new school, I'm gonna say
Janae's 2.
I thought about Janae.
When I think of Janae, I think of I don't need you.
Oh yeah, the worst.
Yeah.
Janae is I think we should put her as the honorable mention.
Honorable? Okay.
Janae is honorable mention. I'm not really, like, I know Janae songs. I like Janae songs.
What about Kehlani?
For number 3?
She don't miss either. But she hasn't been popping that recently like that also.
I like Kehlani. I feel like we should explore the options though. Because I mean, that's just so vast. It's hard to put them as top 3. If we're talking about like mainstream success, then it would probably be who did we just say? Not Kehlani. Yeah, Janae. But she's honorable mention. I don't know. A Summer, SZA, because it feels wrong to put Kehlani in a category with Summer and SZA.
I feel like Janae should be there. I mean, I feel like she ain't never got no issues. She's also, her vibe is different.
You're right. Janae is gonna go slot 3.
Her vibe is different. It's not the same as, I mean, they all depressed in their music, but
yeah,
it's just different vibes in each and every one of them. Like I don't feel the same way listening to Summer when I do with SZA or Janae. It's 3 different vibes.
Yeah.
3 different females that all give me like some sort of peace when I'm listening to their music.
And Janae definitely has been giving us hits for a long time too. So she deserves a slot. You're right. She definitely deserves a slot. Now, our honorable mention, I would vote. I almost want to say Snow, but I feel like she's not. I feel like she's an acquired taste. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't think that she's.
Not everyone's like there.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Kehlani can be that honorable mention. Yeah. Or her. We skipped over her.
I did think about her too.
Her.
I was like thinking about her when I was thinking about Ella Mai. Because when I think about Ella Mai, I think about her. When I think about her, I think about Ella Mai.
Yeah, that's all I can really.
Yeah, let's stick with her.
Her?
Because she don't miss.
She don't.
She really don't. Like,
but Kehlani, I'm looking through the playlist. But Kehlani, like, Can I? She got Open Nights Like This. Like, she got Crazy.
Yo, they might need to pick that one. Because, like, both are, like, really good. But then you get Lights Out by her.
Exactly. Or Losing. Or, like, the deep cuts. Oh.
Like, it's difficult.
Okay, we're going to go honorable mention between her and Kehlani. We'll let y'all pick that one in the comments. That's hard. I'm torn. I don't know what to do.
I don't know either.
But, yeah.
It's them 2, and then it's
Alicia Keys and Monica. So y'all let us know in the comments how you feel, because that's a battle. I feel
like I'm gonna lose. Like I really feel like that.
You are, and it's okay. It's okay. Our last segment that we're gonna get into is the big sis advice, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna give out a piece of advice. What advice would you give to your younger self?
You don't have to be internet pretty. I feel like a lot of younger girls are being on social media. You already try to fit into the stereotype, or like don't love yourself because you don't look a certain way like people do on social media. You don't have to be slim thick. You don't gotta be super flat waisted to be pretty. Like I have a younger sister, and all I do is try and let her know, like, girl, you don't gotta look like half of them girls don't look like that in real life. So while you sitting here, trying to be like that, just be you. And also, I don't know if this makes sense, but if you were ugly when you were younger, you definitely gonna be bad as hell when you get older.
Oh,
so
yeah.
don't even worry about it. If they
like
don't want you now, I promise you they gonna want you when you older. So I know it's hard to sit and wait on that, but any person who didn't want me when I was younger is definitely in my phone now and definitely ain't gonna get the chance.
Hello.
But, hey, like, and also being brown skin, dark skin is beautiful. Like, that's something I would tell myself. Definitely took me a long time to love my skin and not feel no certain type of way or intimidated by anybody else, like anybody else's skin tone, like being friends with other girls and feeling like the oddball out. Like I don't feel like that no more. I definitely love who I am. I embrace who I am, and I'm a pretty female. And I wish I would have known younger. Like, dang, I was gonna look like this. Because like if I would have been chilling. I would have been chilling. I would have been perfectly fine. Like if I just knew. But honestly, and everybody is not your friend. I would make sure I tell myself that everybody is not your friend and make sure you hang around people with the right intentions. And also, I would tell myself, high school is so much easier than college. So, if you think you're struggling now, you really not. Because the way I used to stress over a 2-page paper, and now we got 13-page papers that I need to write in a day or something like that, it is nothing. Yeah. It is nothing like that. And the kids I be tutoring, they're like, 13-page paper. I was like, it really don't sound that bad now that I'm already like done 2 years. But I can see how that sounded a little scary in high school. Like it don't sound the same. But really, I just tell myself like, it's if you can get good grades in high school, at least you're a little, and you actually put in the work, you preparing yourself for real. But there's no way to fully prepare yourself for college because you're just gonna get thrown in there and have to figure it out. But try and surround yourself with the right girls growing up. Like don't be a bully and be nice to everybody. Like you can be friends with anybody, different types of girls, different type of groups. You don't have to limit yourself to the one group of girls. You want to hang out with the emo girls, go hang out with the emo girls. You want to hang out with the quiet girls, hang out with the popular girls, go hang out with, like, you don't gotta limit yourself. You want to be in band and still hang out with the cool kids, you can do both. Like you can do all of that, and don't let nobody make you feel like you can't like do all the things and still be you. Just be yourself and get your eyebrows done. If I could go back and get my eyebrows done from a young age, I would. Yeah. That's about it. Like, just do you. Yeah. They didn't like you though. Growing up.
They gonna like you.
They gonna like you when you get older.
My advice to my younger self as like Jordan would be to don't compare yourself to nobody. Like, don't compare yourself to anybody. Like, be authentically you and work on the inner you earlier than you work on the outer you. That would be my main advice. My superficial advice would be to do your skincare routine. Like, take care of your skin. Because I was not at the time. Yeah. And that'd be it. That's all I gotta say to the younger me. And you did damn good. You did good. And you grew up into a person that I admire.
Hygiene. Hygiene is a big thing. Like, you may not be obsessed with the smells now, but when you get older, you're going to be obsessed with cute little coconut type things, candles. All that stuff is cute. So, I don't know. Like, I just wasn't super into super perfumes and stuff growing up, like electric toothbrush. I feel
like that's stuff you got to grow into, though. As you get older, you understand more. Yeah. And that's it. That's all we got for y'all today. I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. I hope y'all got something out of it. I had a great time with you. I'm so glad that you came and experienced what it feels like to sit on my couch at the Joe Show. You're always welcome to come back. So tell them where they can find you, what your socials are, what you're doing with your life.
You guys can find me on Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat. Those are my only 3 socials at Samaya Shamir. That's SAMA.
I'm gonna put it at the bottom.
Okay, well, shoot. y'all have it right there down low. So that's what you guys can do.
Yeah, if y'all want to follow her, and she's single, so if y'all want to put in your applications.
I'm single. Please be 6'3" and taller.
I'm gonna put your applications in, and I'm gonna weed through them just like everybody else. Put in your applications with me. I'll vet you out. But yeah, and then as you guys know, you can catch me back on this same couch next week. Follow us on Instagram at the Joe Show Podcast with an underscore. You can follow us on TikTok at the Joe Show Podcast. You can follow me personally on Instagram at jojo.shanez, SHANEZ. Bye.